Hello, everybody. Good morning and happy Wednesday. I hope that you are having a good morning so far, or afternoon, wherever you're at in your day. We are going to, I hope I'm not covering the microphone by putting the book there. We are going to get started. So, Harry was helping Professor Lockhart address a bunch of fan mail, which sounds to me, that just sounds no fun. Unless you really like doing calligraphy and nice fancy handwriting, which can sometimes be really relaxing, but I don't know, it doesn't sound too fun in this situation. Alrighty. So I'm just gonna scoot back about a paragraph so we can catch up to where we were. The minutes snailed by. Harry let Lockhart's voice wash over him, occasionally saying, and right, and yeah. Now and then he caught a phrase like, fame's a fickle friend, Harry, or celebrity is as celebrity does, you remember that? The candles burned lower and lower, making the light dance over the many moving faces of Lockhart watching him. Harry moved his aching hand over what felt like the 1,000th envelope, writing out Veronica Smelthy's address. It must be nearly time to leave, Harry thought, miserably. Please let it be nearly time. And then he heard something. Something quite apart from the spitting of the dying candles and Lockhart's prattle about his fans. It was a voice. A voice chill to the bones. A voice to chill the bone marrow. A voice of breathtaking, ice-cold venom. Come to me. Let me rip you. Let me tear you. Let me kill you. Spooky. Harry gave a huge jump, and a large lilac blot appeared on Veronica Smelthy's street. What? He said loudly. I know, said Lockhart. 6 solid months at the top of the bestseller list broke all the records. No, said Harry frantically. That voice. Sorry, said Lockhart, looking puzzled. What voice? That voice that said, didn't you hear it? Lockhart was looking at Harry in high astonishment. What are you talking about, Harry? Perhaps you're getting a little drowsy. Great Scott, would you look at the time? We've been here nearly 4 hours. I'd have never believed it. The time sure has flown, hasn't it? Harry didn't answer. He was straining his ears to hear the voice again, but there was no sound now except for Lockhart telling him he mustn't expect a treat like this every time he got detention. Feeling dazed, Harry left. It was so late that the Gryffindor common room was almost empty. Harry went straight up to the dormitory. Ron wasn't back yet. Harry pulled on his pajamas, got into bed, and waited. Half an hour later, Ron arrived, nursing his right arm and bringing a strong smell of polish into the darkened room. My muscles have all seized up, he groaned, sinking onto his bed. 14 times he made me buff up that Quidditch cup before he was satisfied. And then I had another slug attack all over a special award for services to the school. It took ages to shift the slime. How was it with Lockhart? Keeping his voice low so as not to wake Neville, Dean, and Seamus, Harry told Ron exactly what he had heard. And Lockhart couldn't hear it? Said Ron. Harry could see him frowning in the moonlight. Do you think he was lying? But I don't get it. Even someone invisible would have had to open the door. I know, said Harry, lying back in his four-poster and staring at the canopy above him. I don't get it either. That's the end of that chapter. We still have time, though. So we're going to start chapter 8, and it is called The Death Day Party. Sounds spooky. I wonder what this fish's bones and maggots have to do with it. It's very icky. October arrived, spreading a damp chill over the grounds and into the castle. Madame Pomfrey, the matron, was kept busy by a sudden spate of colds among the staff and students. Her pepper-up potion worked instantly, though it left the drinkers smoking at the ears for several hours afterwards. Ginny Weasley, who had been looking peaky, was bullied into taking some by Percy. The steam pouring from under her vivid hair gave the impression that her whole head was on fire. Raindrops the size of bullets thundered on the castle windows for days on end. The lake rose, the flower beds turned into muddy streams, and Hagrid's pumpkins swelled to the size of garden sheds. Oliver Wood's enthusiasm for regular training sessions, however, was not dampened, which was why Harry was to be found, late on one stormy Saturday afternoon, a few days before Halloween, returning to Gryffindor Tower, drenched to the skin and splattered with mud. Even aside from the rain and wind, it hadn't been a happy practice session. Fred and George, who had been spying on the Slytherin team, had seen for themselves the speed of those new Nimbus 2001s. They reported that the Slytherin team were no more than 7 greenish blurs, shooting through the air like jump jets. As Harry squelched along the deserted corridor, he came across somebody who looked just as preoccupied as he was. Nearly Headless Nick, the ghost of the Gryffindor Tower, was staring morosely out of a window, muttering under his breath, "Don't fulfill the requirements. Half an inch, if that!" And here's some pictures for you. Although I'm not quite sure what we're looking at here. Let's see if I can get the book to show you the pictures while I read. Maybe a little more. "Hello, Nick," said Harry. Hello, said nearly headless Nick, staring and looking around. He wore a dashing plumed hat with his long curly hair, and a tunic with a ruff which concealed the fact that his neck was almost completely severed. He was pale as smoke, and Harry could see right through him to the dark sky and torrential rain outside. "You look troubled, young Potter," said Nick, folding a transparent letter as he spoke and tucking it inside his, I think it's called a doublet. I can't remember. "So do you," said Harry. "Ah," nearly headless Nick waved an elegant hand. "A matter of no importance. It's not as though I really wanted to join. I thought I'd apply, but apparently I don't fulfill the requirements." In spite of his airy tone, there was a look of great bitterness on his face. "But you would think, wouldn't you," he erupted suddenly, pulling the letter back out of his pocket, "that getting hit 45 times in the neck with a blunt axe would qualify you to join the Headless Hunt." "Oh, yes," said Harry, who was obviously supposed to agree. "I mean, nobody wishes more than I do that it had been quick and clean, and my head had come off properly. I mean, it would have saved me a great deal of pain and ridicule. However..." Nearly headless Nick shook his letter open and read furiously. "We can only accept huntsmen whose heads have parted company with their bodies. You will appreciate that it would be impossible otherwise for members to participate in hunt activities such as horseback head juggling and head polo. It is with the greatest regret, therefore, that I must inform you that you do not fulfill our requirements. With very best wishes, Sir Patrick Delaney Podmore." Fuming, nearly headless Nick stuffed the letter away. "Half an inch of skin, and sign you holding my neck on, Harry. Most people would think that's a good and beheaded, but oh no, it's not enough for Sir Properly Decapitated Podmore." Nearly headless Nick took several breaths, and then said in a far calmer tone, "So, what's bothering you? Anything I can do?" No, said Harry, not unless you know where we can get 7 free Windows 2001s for our match against Slit. The rest of Harry's sentence was drowned by a high-pitched mewing from somewhere near his ankles. He looked down and found himself gazing into a pair of lamp-like yellow eyes. It was Mrs. Norris, the skeletal gray cat who was used by the caretaker, Argus Filch, as sort of a deputy in his endless battle against students. That is where we will have to end our reading today. I hope you enjoyed this part of the story. Bye, team.